You have activated a podcast from the Psychon Network.
And now, on with the show.
Welcome to Retrograde, the show where we use review on retro game. This is episode 24, and today we're going to be discussing the PC text-based adventure game Zork. I'm Jack Marshall, I'm joined today by Anthony Hobday.
Hello.
James McFadden.
Hello.
And Lizanne Fisher.
Hi.
Yay!
Getting close to my age.
Yeah.
How old are you? 24?
30.
Well, I don't know why that's so ridiculous. You'll be 30 one day.
No,
I
it's...
don't want to reveal my actual age on the show because
Between the ages
get arrested.
of 17 and 34.
I'm between the ages of... What episode is 23? I'm between the ages of 23 and 26.
Okay.
How are we all? Big news, though. I want to quickly talk about it. I want to check James is okay about it. I already talked to you about it, Lizanne. You went, I'm
Wait,
actually
sorry,
really upset.
you're waiting until we're live on air to check whether I'm okay
no.
with something.
JLS split up.
Oh, don't even
Are
say
you okay
stuff.
with that, James?
Jules.
Jules.
Who's Jules and why did he split up?
What is JLS?
You've been serious. We had actually. We had
Do you want me to sing you a little medley?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know.
Everybody in love,
Yeah, that one.
go put your hands up.
I hate that
Everybody
song.
in love, go put your hands up.
I hate that song because if you're in a bar or a club and that song
Baby,
comes
take a chance
on
me.
and you don't put your hands
Baby,
up,
take a
it
chance
looks like you're not
on
in
me.
love,
Bloody
and
hell.
I hate that.
That's serious.
It's like having a song that says like, everybody who's not a paedophile, put your hands up. And if you don't put your hands up, it's like, I've
That's
got to put
quite
my
a
hands
cultural
up.
impact.
So when they say
there.
everybody in love, if you sit with your hands down, everyone goes, oh.
Yeah, but it's the same.
That's not
It's the same
love.
with Beyonce's Single Ladies.
If I'm not a
Everybody-
single lady.
Everybody does not go, oh.
Except on the weekends. But
Hey.
Everybody does not go, oh, because they're all putting their hands up, ignoring you, because you're in the corner not putting your hands up.
it's
Why
like
would
that
they-
joke in The Simpsons where Mr. Burns says, everyone who's found love can go home early, and they all run off. There's one guy who goes... Anthony, what have you been up to? Anything interesting?
I want to talk about Ni no Kuni for a second.
Moving on.
And that is... Sounds like a joke, but it's not.
Completed it finally?
I'm close. I'm about 40...
Jack really doesn't care.
No, I want to talk about, in terms of general game design, because it's done a really interesting thing. I'm about 40 hours in, and
Feels like it.
usually with RPGs, you follow the
That was
characters.
better than I thought it was.
Lizanne, have you got any banter?
I've got loads.
No,
mate.
go on. Usually with RPGs...
No, that was the end of my point, apparently.
Oh, usually with RPGs...
Oh, did you have a point to make about RPGs, Jack?
No, I'm trying to...
No, go ahead, Jack. I didn't want to
I
cut you off.
apologise for interrupting
Anthony,
you.
I was really concerned about Ni no Kuni. You haven't updated us for a while. What's been going on?
Well, guys,
Shame.
I actually wanted to share something about Ni no Kuni. I played the demo and I thought it was a boring JRPG. I have loved film and I returned it after a day because it was boring.
Because you did not love it.
I didn't love it, no.
That's what, you know...
I
do what it says
did
on
the
tin.
reverse.
Well,
love
you
it.
only love their films, Jack. That's why it's called Love Film and not Love Game.
Loathe games.
Why are you renting games from Love Film and not Love Game? Jeez. Rookie mistake.
You both used that film, didn't you?
I used to. I got rid of my subscription. Soon after I got rid of my subscription, a guy came to the door and was like, have you signed up for Love Film? With an iPad. And I was like, I just got rid of my subscription and we've got 2 other subscriptions in the house.
Love Film was sending people around knocking on people's doors.
Yeah, he was wearing a cap, he had an iPad, and he was showing me the website on the iPad. I was like, I've
kidding?
just
You
cancelled
didn't
it.
do
What the hell? Was he there because he
Blimey.
cancelled it or just...
No, they were just going door to door.
Oh, right. That's
Canvassing the
really
neighbourhood.
weird.
It is weird to see a modern service do that. Door to door. Usually it's vacuum
It
cleaners
used to be
and...
Milkman. Now it's Netflix and Love Film coming around.
When they come to your door, knock on it and say, would you like to buy some milk? You have
do, that's what
prearranged
I
They
agreements.
got a cow and a bit of rope, so draw some milk.
God.
Freshly
It makes
squeezed.
sense though, because like Netflix now has more subscribers than
Milkman.
HBO, so Love Film have really got to try and scrounge up the subscribers.
Well,
What happens?
Love Film's UK based, right? It's only,
Yes.
it's only
Yeah,
UK,
yeah.
so they're
It's
trying
owned by Amazon now.
Yeah.
What happens when
blimey.
you pull the rope?
I don't know.
Does milk come out?
No, the cow follows you when you pull the rope.
Oh, it's around its
That's
neck.
that's not how you milk a
Oh,
cow.
I thought it was like a pull rope.
Oh, no, ooh, invention.
For milk.
I think they already have something to automatically milk cows though, so yeah.
Lizanne,
Yeah.
what you got to share?
On Saturday, Neil and I went to an old workmates of his birthday party at this brand new bar. It was their first weekend open. That's how hipster we are. It's called Mad, MADD, and it's loading at Mad is what it's called, and it's in Soho. Very close to the Book of Mormon Theatre, actually, the Prince of Wales. Very near Piccadilly Circus, and it's a retro game bar. I said retro game. It's a retro game bar, and they've got. They showed us the cupboard with all the consoles in and everything, but they didn't have them all out, just the Super Nintendo, because that's what Neil's friend had requested. And they had a Wii U, and they had Xbox.
So you
they had like all the games.
It's not like you can just go in and start.
No,
playing.
you can, but it was this guy's birthday, so he booked it for just us. And they had loads of main cabinets as well with all the games on. It was amazing. But the best thing, obviously, the gaming was brilliant.
It's alcohol.
Yes, because their menu was
Have you got some
entirely. I've got some with me, and I took pictures of the menu.
Can I
so what I'll do?
Hold on.
Do you want me to give you the name of the cocktail, which are all based around retro games, or do you want the ingredients of the cocktail?
Could you give us the name of the... Is it like a pun of the game?
It's
like
a pun...
So could you give us the name of the game and we'll try guess the cocktail drink's name? Does that make sense?
Might be too hard that way around.
No, it won't work that way around. I was going to do ingredients and name of the cocktail.
Well, like if it's called something like Super Mario Brothers and they've called it Super Mario Punch or something like that, is it like a pun
it's not,
name?
Yes, but they're good, not that.
Can we just do this?
So I just say, right, okay. So the first one you might want is Sugar and Splice. Out of Eve, come try the next best thing. That's got vodka, Bacardi, blue, curacao, lime and soda. Then you can have a Kick to the Kirby. Cute, cuddly, but with quite a kick. That's good. That's good. A Drink to the Past. You can't start your quest without one. See, that was my favourite. That was my favourite run, and it was bright green. It was awesome.
Was it tasting good though?
It did taste really good. It was Bacardi, Midori, lemonade, and lime. It was really, really citrusy.
Midori's good.
It was really citrusy, but had a nice sweet to it. It was lovely.
Like watermelon liqueur.
Neil's favourite was this one, which was the Donkey Konga. It's on like Donkey Kong, which was Malibu, banana, liqueur, pineapple, and cream, which is
Donkey
good.
Kong is not a pun; it's actually the name of a Donkey Kong game.
Yeah. I also really enjoyed the Earthworm Gin,
That's clever. See, that's good. That's the best one so far.
Yeah.
which was a cosmic mix of gin, Earl Grey syrup, lemon and lime, and soda. So it was like a fizzy alcoholic tea with gin. It was delicious.
Oh, sounds good.
Absolutely delicious. G&T Virus, Truth Lies Stout, and Elderflower Scrolls Skyrum. A sweet yet heroic epic.
Skyrim.
That is a pure effort.
Yeah, no, it was good. Then you could have shooters. I'll just tell you the names of these because I haven't aware this is going on for a while. One called Loading, which is their signature one, but then that layers up to look like the loading bars with the different colours. Breach and Clear.
Hello.
Which is from Call of Duty. The Triforce, which we had, which was very strong but delicious. And the Sonic 3.
Like the real Triforce.
Yeah, the Sonic 3, where there was the Blue Curacao for Sonic, Cherry Sambuca for Knuckles, and Mount Gay Rum for Tails. And then there were shot sets. You bought them in sets of 3, and they were all themed, and you had to see if you could do each one. But yeah, like they've put a lot of thought into this place, and it is properly decorated, like awesome retro
What's that
gaming.
name one more time for the listeners?
It's called Loading at Mad, MADD. It's on Rupert Street in Soho.
Mention Lizanne's name, you'll get a discount.
I mentioned the podcast, and the guy instantly downloaded it to his phone, saying he was going to listen
Did
to
he
it.
listen to it and then went, get out of my bar?
No, he didn't. And then I got a 10% t-shirt discount because I was wearing my Link to the Future t-shirt.
Wait, they sell t-shirts.
No. I was just wearing an awesome t-shirt.
You got I thought a 10%
Yeah.
t-shirt discount. All t-shirts 10%.
No. He gave me
see,
10% off of our drinks because I was wearing a good t-shirt.
Excellent.
I don't know if I'll do that for everyone. The t-shirt was quite tight. That might be why.
Desperately trying to think of a pun name for a drink while you were doing all those, and I can't think of one.
Oh, sorry.
The closest I got was
phase out. I have
Metal
no
Drink
idea
Solid.
what we're
That's
talking
rubbish.
Metal Drink Solid, that's good.
No, that's not good.
But no, I mean
Solid,
the
that's not a
drinks.
good
The
name.
drinks were delicious, and for London, it wasn't very expensive at all. So if you are a fan of retro gaming, as you obviously are, because you're listening to this, and you find yourself in London one day, then go check it out. It's awesome.
Sweet, cool.
James, what have you been up to? Anything interesting?
I was in London actually recently. I'm doing a course in music at university, and I moved out in September. And since then, I haven't had an instrument. I'm a pianist. I play the piano. But recently I found a really good deal on Gumtree for a keyboard. So I had to go to London with my girlfriend to get this keyboard. But I didn't really factor in how to get it back because it weighs more than her. So I had to go from London, Victoria into Camden Town and then somehow transport this massive keyboard back to the train station.
Is it massive because it's a good keyboard?
Oh yeah, it's brilliant. It's the one I wanted. It's genius.
Okay.
But yeah, so I carried it for like 10 minutes and then I was like, screw it, and paid 30 quid for a taxi. Yeah. But it was a fun time, and now I have an instrument, so I'm happy.
I love what you said. I'm
Yay!
a pianist, which means I played a piano, in case people didn't... I'm a pianist, I played a piano.
Sometimes people mishear that word, you know.
I always do.
But hey, it's alright because you're a pianist with an instrument now that you can play with all day long.
Exactly. I can
tinkle away with it.
Usually by myself alone.
I had a great moment on Friday night, which actually I was going to tell you.
Wait, is this following on from the innuendo we were just discussing?
Penises. I was a pianist on Friday, I tell you that. No, I was going to share this off. There.
Anthony's put my shoes on. Take them off, you'll stretch them out.
Simple humour on this show.
Sorry, carry on.
Well, yeah, I was downstairs at a party.
Yeah.
It's not really a party, it's like 8 of us. And we were playing games and stuff, and I'm glad you're listening, James, because these two aren't.
Let them get out of their system.
Shoes off.
And we were playing this game.
Fit into my stilettos.
Yeah. It was my friend, so next door neighbour John, he was there, it was his birthday, his girlfriend Carolyn, and then one of my friends Ben, and then 3 of her friends who were all lesbians. 2 of them were in a couple, which is fine, nothing wrong with that. But the thing, we started playing this game, just fine. I had to mention that.
But he had to mention it. He had to mention it
for the story because I was, I'm relaxed around these films. We started playing this game. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm not. Some people would freak out, but I was fine. I was like, yeah, no.
Jack's fine around people like that.
He doesn't mind them.
Right. Anyway, we started playing this game where the game was like someone gets a card. It'll be like the topic will be, I don't know, like Flintstones characters. And you have to try and name the top 10. So like family fortunes or whatever. And my one came up, it was my go, so I was like, yeah, I want to win this. My one came up, things that come in pairs. So when things come in pairs, okay, gloves, jeans, lesbians.
Did you?
And just went, I've never met these 3 people before, so I was like, did I get away with that? And just froze and went, things come in pairs. And I couldn't think of anything else. So I just went, gloves, jeans. And then they did the answers. It was like, you got gloves, jeans, lesbians wasn't on there.
Can I ask a
don't
question?
know why I said it. Freudian slip.
Oh, yeah, that was my question. Why did you say that? Because lesbians don't tend to come in pairs.
No, that's the thing. I don't.
You can be a lesbian on your own.
No, but this thing, it wasn't. It was just a thing that it was in the room, and I kind of went and panicked.
Why didn't you say nipples?
Breasts, I was thinking.
I don't know.
Nostrils, glasses, eyes.
We're not playing the game now.
Well, yeah, we're winning.
Lesbians.
I got jeans and gloves and lesbians, but only 2 of those were correct. So yeah, that was my weekend.
We're all very ashamed of
Wait,
that.
jeans don't come in pairs either.
Pair of jeans.
You get a pair of jeans.
You don't buy 2 of them. You say
when you see something comes in
lateral
pairs,
thinking.
though, you think
you get 2
there
at
are
a
2
time.
of them. And they
Turtle doves
and they
come in
can be
pairs.
individual, but jeans can't be individual.
If you
They're always coming in
I
pairs.
bought some jeans, I'd think you were saying 2. But if you said I bought a pair of jeans, I'd go, oh, you bought a pair of jeans.
No, if you said I bought some jeans, I wouldn't think you bought.
I wouldn't think you bought 2. No, that's ridiculous.
Bought some jeans.
Yeah, you bought a pair of jeans.
How many jeans did you buy, Anthony? Clear it up. A pair. You got 1. Got you.
I got 1 jean.
That explains a lot.
Right, let's talk about Zork. Before we do, let's have a brief blurb on the game from the... I haven't even written down what his role is anymore. He's the founder of Psychon.net, Brecky K. Thomason.
Zork was one of the earliest interactive fiction computer games with roots from the original genre game Colossal Cave Adventure. The first version of Zork was written between 1977 and 1979 using the MDL programming language. The authors Tim Anderson, Mark Blank, Bruce Daniels, and Dave Liebling were members of the MIT Dynamic Modeling Group. Zork is set in the ruins of an ancient empire lying far underground. The player is a nameless adventurer who is venturing into this dangerous land in search of wealth and adventure. The goal, of course, is to return from the great underground empire alive with the treasures, ultimately inheriting the title of Dungeon Master. Zork distinguished itself in its genre as an especially rich game, in terms of both the quality of the storytelling and the sophistication of its text parser, which was not limited to simple verb-noun commands, but recognized some prepositions and conjunctions. Zork now stands as one of the most famous text-based adventure games ever made.
Thanks for that, Breaky.
Did you two rehearse that?
Well, whenever because Brecky's not here, he's obviously in Sweden, so he has to do the voiceover.
Where is he?
He's in Sweden. So whenever I do that, I do to give you guys the gesture that I don't say anything because we need to pause for when Brecky talks. I go pull my arm and go
Like a truck driver pulling his horn.
I thought you were going to do noise.
Oh, I thought you were doing the El Dude brothers from Peep Show.
Yeah.
That as well.
But that actually
he's-
draws an interesting comparison because who's Mark and who's Jeremy then?
Oh, I'm Jerry.
You're not Jeremy anymore.
I don't know the reference, so.
Oh, you
I'm
need to
not
watch it.
either.
You haven't seen Peep Show?
I've seen it, I don't know that.
Oh, it's quite easy. Super Hands, Mark, Jeremy.
The listeners don't know who you pointed to.
They don't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Answers on a postcard.
It's pretty easy.
Zork.
Zork. You
Don't
chose
mock me.
Beep.
James, you chose Zork. Why?
I just thought it'd be interesting to talk about. You know, we haven't done a text-based game. They've been, well, some people think they've been pretty influential, and it's kind of died out. So I thought we should maybe look at why that was and what.
On the point of we haven't done a text-based game, what was the secret of Monkey Island?
That was an adventure. Point and click.
Yeah, point and click. That's different.
Okay, yeah.
Had graphics.
Text-based.
Typing, I guess.
Okay.
It's kind of the thing.
Question: have we done a NES era game before?
Yeah, Mega Man.
Okay. So this is the earliest game we've done. This is the first game we've done.
One of the earliest games we could do, to be honest.
I mean, this is the first game we've done before the NES era, right?
Yep.
When did this come out?
1979.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay, none of us were born.
None of us
Excellent.
were born, yeah.
That was before the video game crash, right?
Yeah.
The Atari.
Yeah, mid-80s was the video game crash. That's when Nintendo then releasing. I know why James picked this. Because James is a rebel. He likes to be an analyst. He likes to go against the system. The system
Yeah.
being the Retrograde
That's right.
podcast.
I agree.
It's still a,
He's
game,
always
it's
trying
still a
to break
retro
it.
game.
Next week it's going to be like tic-tac-toe he's going to pick or something like that. It's going to go all the way back to like chess.
I'm going to
Let's
pick
do
one of the
chess.
old computer versions of chess.
You
Yeah.
can pick the hardest game that we can't find. There's
I'm going to
only
pick
one
like
copy of.
Football Manager 2002.
Cricket simulator or something. So what did you think of Zork, James?
It's really boring. It's hard to enjoy. I can appreciate what it's doing on a very basic level, but I just don't like experiencing it. And to be honest, if a game can give me some semblance of joy, then I don't really have any use for it. You know, it's
Did you enjoy anything? Not even like puzzle
Not really.
solving?
I mean, sort of the whole shtick behind it is that you're using your imagination to sort of experience this, and that's where it's all based. But even the most terrible novel I've read is still more imaginative and more interesting to experience than the game is, because it's so bound up by the command system.
Yeah.
You have to be so specific, and there are so many internal sort of assumed logical rules that make sometimes very little sense, that it is really frustrating to even get the next little bit of narrative. And it's like a slog. It shouldn't be a slog. The premise of the genre is already grating enough, but to actually have to eke out every little piece of it by myself, like over the course of 5 minutes doing go west, there is a wall there, go northwest, there is a tiny passage with a golden globe at the end, take globe, I'm not close enough, go to globe, I don't know what that means. It's difficult to really respect. I mean, it's 79, that is a long time ago,
Yeah,
and we've come so far, but there's a group of diehard enthusiasts, and I think they're mad, because you have no reason to be playing this in this day and age. That's crazy.
Can we forgive a game? I mean, the part of the show is we kind of grade it based on today's kind of technology and stuff. We base it by a game. A game should age just as well as anything. But can we forgive this one for the fact that it was made in it was made by 4 hackers at MIT?
It's impossible to sort of review it objectively or in relation to the time period it was released, because we weren't doing this then.
I was going to say that basically the whole point of this show is that we review retro games from one perspective.
Yeah.
But a lot of the games that we do review, we're used to from like our childhood and things, or they have some semblance, or they're similar to games we have now, so we can see the connection and we can look at it from a different perspective. But I think this game, above most of them, requires you to put yourself in the mindset of the people back then, because obviously there wasn't anything more.
Pong. There was Pong. They had Pong.
Well, there were arcades.
Pong.
There was
Space
arcade,
Invaders.
games and things
Space
like
Invaders, Asteroids.
But this was essentially
things like that did exist.
this was kind of the height of imagination when it came to game. Like now we have storytelling in games that are action heavy and things.
One big
Wasn't Dungeons and Dragons still around then?
Wasn't
Wasn't
it
it?
like a board game? I mean, this was based on a game called Dungeon, and there was Colossal Cave Adventure came before this, which was another tech.
But Dungeons and Dragons was
yeah,
like
yeah,
an
yeah.
institution.
Oh yeah. Dungeons and Dragons.
That's essentially doing what this is trying to
Yes.
do, but much better with sort of more basic tools.
Yeah.
That's because you've got a person who can listen to what you say you're doing and then...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which circumvents my main problem with the game, in that the input system is so limited and tricky.
Yeah, but you need, friends to play.
That's
Dungeons
true.
and
That
Dragons.
is a challenge sometimes.
That brings on to, I want to quickly cover that what you said now. That's one thing I think this game probably has lost a little bit of, and I don't know if you can call this a mechanic in games, but it's that element of community around a game. Like now, we can just go on the internet and look up any solution to any game we want. Which is fine, but back then I think they almost used to design games intending that you would speak to your friends or go buy a magazine or sit there and draw maps on a table. Where, like, for a map for this, I could have drawn a map. I was tempted to actually get my notebook out and draw a map before. I was
No, that was my first urge.
Why am I doing
As soon as I started picking up items and moving around, I was like, right, I need pen and
I need
paper
a
so
pen
I
and paper. That's the
can
thing.
draw a map and keep a list of what I've
back
got.
when there were blank notes pages at the back of manuals. But that's kind of a mechanic, and I guess it is a design mechanic, it's a design choice that has been lost now. That's why, I think point-and-click adventures have probably been damaged quite a lot because of it, because people just go on the internet and look them up, arguably. But anyway, so I've gone off topic. Anthony, what do you think of the game?
I think it's the ultimate in exploratory gameplay. I was talking about types of fun before.
Yes.
I think this basically takes the whole exploratory fun and just pushes it as far as it'll go and then ignores everything else.
Really?
Well, because...
Every single juncture you get to, you have to explore, and you have to explore every avenue. You can't see where you're going, so you have to work it out and remember, and it is complete.
But then that
exploratory.
sort of draws into the question the value of exploration. I mean, you could have a game where you literally have a sequence of left or right turns, and you choose left or right, and it makes absolutely no difference, and it's infinite, and it goes on for thousands of years.
I'd play that game.
But
still play.
Not unless you go
really
left and
bad.
left again.
well, yeah, and it never goes anywhere. But that's not to me at least, not as valuable as maybe Skyrim, in which you do get to explore.
The difference between that and this, and they all exist on a spectrum, obviously, and this is somewhere towards the left-right infinite turn game,
Yeah,
and not very close to Skyrim.
Coming
Is
soon
that,
from EA, that one, that'll be.
is that Skyrim has like a lot of stimuli. The left-right turn game has very little stimuli because it doesn't tell you anything after you've turned left or right. It just says which way you're going to go now. And this has slightly more. Like it has the descriptions of the locations, and you've got items and everything. So when I say ultimate and exploratory gameplay, I mean that basically all you're doing is exploring. Whereas in Skyrim, you can look around and marvel at the sights and
Well, I think
things.
you're puzzle solving
Yeah,
almost as much as exploring.
but what is puzzle solving if not exploring your brain?
I can't argue that one.
That doesn't mean anything, but it sounds impressive.
So I kind of missed that. Did you? Sorry, finish your point. Did you enjoy the game?
Oh, I was starting with that. I'll
Yeah.
carry on. You made me realise, James, that this is basically like another adventure game that we've seen later on in gaming's history, like, say, Zelda. Like, even the first Zelda on NES was up, down, left, right, because it was top-down and,
yeah.
very simple screen-based gameplay. But this is basically Zelda if you're blind.
Oh God! Oh no!
It's really not though.
Because you get into a room, but you've got this black screen in front of you, and so a person, the narrator, has to describe everything to you.
Right.
So it's still like the same kind of adventure, exploratory gameplay.
Yeah, but it's different because if you're let's say I'm blind and you're helping me play Zelda, and you go, right, Jack, you've just walked into a room. There's a Ganondorf or boss over there or whatever. Zelda relies on me pressing buttons and reacting in time.
Link
and stuff.
relies on
Link,
you pressing
whatever.
buttons.
No one cares.
No,
about
Link's
that.
the princess. He's talking about Zelda.
Zelda. No, but Link is to do with actually like throwing a boomerang in a text-based adventure game. You just throw boomerang through it.
Thrown.
Thrown.
Oh my
I don't
God.
let me get my point across.
Boomerang throw it.
It's about things like timing and accuracy and the pressing of a button and responding to that action of what happened. That doesn't really happen. In
It's,
text.
it's approximating those actions though, just via text. I mean, there's no timing.
Yeah, but it's like a blind person telling someone how to play Zelda. Going, okay, throw the boomerang at the boss.
Yeah, but
and
that's-
then doing it for them. That's how it's kind of comparable.
But the blind person wouldn't throw the boomerang in the first place. Because he wouldn't be able to see what you're throwing it at. So he would give it to the narrator to
Let's
throw
say
it.
me and you were playing
He
a
would
game.
say, throw this at the monster. And then the narrator would throw it, and that's exactly the same as a text adventure.
I
but that means
think
you'd be
we need to
playing-
blindfold one of you and get
play
the
some
game
Zelda.
out and play
Anyway, I
some
don't even know where this
Zelda
point
and
was going.
see
Carry
whether
on.
Make
it's
this
safe.
analogy real.
Carry
Come
on, go on.
So I'm saying it's basically only exploratory gameplay. There's nothing else. There's no visual aspect to it, which is what Zelda offers over something like this. Plus the timing-based attacks and things, like you say. But I'm saying that this is basically taking the whole exploratory fun concept and just focusing on that, as well as narrative and things. That's kind of gives you the feedback you're looking for. Because, like you said, like James said, it's just left and right otherwise. But just like James, I was kind of frustrated by the lack of knowing what commands there were. I think it'd be nicer if it gave you like text. Point and click is a very similar system, but with visuals. But they tell you what commands are available.
Yeah, and even that can be frustratingly arbitrary sometimes.
Yeah, like I tried use on a door and it didn't open.
Yeah,
you don't even know use or open available until you try them.
By the time the game started getting to the point where it was doing the Zoom 1, 2 and 3 and stuff, they came with a manual. It did have a list of verbs that you could use as a starting point. You had to kind of carry on using words, exploring a bit more. But yeah,
so
didn't tell you all of them. First one they just released over whatever the equivalent of the internet was back then. Yeah, you were just sitting there going, okay, drink potion, just trying to guess what it could be.
But they didn't give you like a full list in the...
No.
See, that's still... It's kind of annoying not to know your limitations in a video game like this, because it's a very limited game.
The only limitation is your vocabulary.
You think that, but then you try, something inventive that I can't, because I'm not inventive.
I tried hump wall, didn't recognise it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I tried doing some things.
I tried doing loads
didn't
of stuff.
recognise lots of words.
It was fun to try. If you type in a rude word, it goes like something like, we can't have this profanity in this type of game, or something like that. Sorry,
nice.
In real life, I built a hump wall. I try it in this game, doesn't work. What kind of simulation is this? I thought they were at MIT.
So, Anthony, did you like the game?
I'm getting onto that. I also realise it's basically the ultimate game in requiring imagination, like I say, because the lack of visuals. So this is basically like a book, but... Well, it's basically like a choose-your-own-adventure book.
So did you like it?
I'm getting onto that.
Okay, yeah, it is, yeah.
Fast forward like 5 minutes. At this point, if you'd like
Skip
know
to the
answers.
end.
No, I think those are my only general points.
He wants to get all his points across, then just sit back for the rest of the show and go, I'm done here. See you later,
Basically,
guys.
I like to say everything I've got written down so I don't forget to say any of it, and then later on I just add my opinions to yours.
Okay.
No, ultimately I wasn't really a big fan, but like I'm saying, you have to go back and appreciate it from the 1970s perspective, because this would have been kind of a pinnacle of interactive storytelling at the time.
Put on some disco music.
I wouldn't be
Put your
surprised.
flares on.
I wouldn't be
Sorry,
surprised if there were people who were seriously impressed by Zork when it was released.
Well, yeah, totally. I can imagine that.
Oh, yeah.
It must have been
Bear in mind, it
mystifying.
was free as well.
But I'm saying that I think you could show a 12-year-old Sonic 1 and they could still be impressed by that, because there are analogs now, especially on iPhone and things. Whereas you show anyone Zork, I doubt anyone's going to be impressed by it in 2013.
Yeah.
Because there are... Every genre it could be representing has been done better since with graphics and sound.
When I have a child, I'm going to bring them up and hide video games from them and only let them play things like Space Invaders and Pac-Man and let them think that's the norm. Then when they're about 13, I'm just going to put Skyrim on and I just want to see what happens to them. I'd love to do like
Jack.
a science... I'd love to show like a kid in Africa or Antarctica or something who's never seen a games console, show them Skyrim and see how they'd react.
You realise that not only will your child be bullied horrendously as all their friends are playing Call of Duty when they're 8 and your child isn't, but you also realise your child will go around to friends' houses and play video games.
No,
Obviously, Jack's children aren't going to be allowed friends.
Yeah.
He's committing.
He's going to fritz
They're
them.
not going to get any
no
friends
friends
when
in
they're
the
in the
dungeon.
basement. Yeah, that's the thing. The chains won't let them go that far.
No,
Go on.
did you see the video that was released? I think it was on Reddit. It was of a grandma being shown the Oculus Rift.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and it was...
It's so
Blowing her mind.
cute.
I know. I can't wait to try it on.
Because she's holding this VR goggles to her head and experiencing like full head tracking and movement and 3D and everything, and she just blows her mind completely. And she's reaching out and trying to touch stuff with her hands. And he walks her forward into a wall, and she like leans back in the chair and is like, oh, and bumps her head on the back of the chair
Well,
because she's...
To be fair, I mean, I still play racing games. I still lean slightly when I'm going around a corner. I guess it's just...
Oh, yeah, but she's just...
Oh, no, she's...
I'm
she's
saying that's
rocking
what would
it. I
happen
know,
if you showed your deprived son Skyrim for the first time. It'd be like that grandmother being shown Oculus Rift.
It's a Zork.
Oh, yeah. I don't think it's compatible with the Oculus Rift.
Anthony, can I just... I've noticed your sort of prodigious facial hair.
Oh.
And I would like to inquire as to why it's the reverse of mine in terms of growth sort of coverage.
This is what I keep saying.
Because you've got the mustache, which it's there. I mean, that is the focal point of the facial hair for me. But you've also got the little goatee type bit, which is growing more than the rest of it. And then the side parts and the sort of chin part are less.
Yeah.
And mine is I'm just wondering, sort of, what's the deal?
Did you like Zork?
You could grow a mean goatee, definitely.
I don't want to grow a mean goatee.
If you shaved off
He's
the side
half
bits, it would look better. It would be
French.
cool. It would be like you're like an evil
No,
baddie.
I'm trying to grow all of it, and if it doesn't work,
shave it.
eventually I'm just going to get rid of it.
How
entirely.
long has this been growing for?
About
A
month.
year.
18 years.
A month. Interesting.
So I'll try and go full mountain man with it, but if it doesn't
Okay.
work, I'll get rid of it, because I
Yeah.
don't want to go goatee. I'm not Iron Man.
Quite clean up the neck as well.
What?
You're quite clean up the neck. I get the problem because it goes all the way
Oh,
to my neck.
I
joins
shave
into
it.
my chest hair.
Oh, you shave your neck.
Yeah, I shave my neck, 'cause
Wow.
I need to trim the old neck.
we're meant to groom since we're human beings.
Wait, when did this turn into the male grooming podcast?
I don't
'Cause
shave my
I
neck,
probably
listen. I just let
shouldn't
it.
be here.
I normally always go last when we talk about games, so I'll go next. Yeah, does everyone want to go there? Cool. Okay.
Jack,
Sam
what do you
can
think
go
of
last
Zork?
because she doesn't have any facial hair.
No, because I.
Oh, thanks.
That's okay.
I'm downy.
I've never played it before. I've never played it before. Sat down,
good
got
at
ready,
that.
stretched my fingers, got ready to play. I actually found it really charming.
I just got that. That was really good.
I actually found it really charming. I actually really liked it. Played for about 3 or 4 hours. I found it very. I drew a little map. I started using a map
Played
and
for
stuff
3
like
or
that.
4 hours. I like how the start we went from like completing every game that we ever do in the podcast. You know,
Well,
sometimes
to
playing
be
10
fair-
minutes and watching a Let's Play. Sometimes I'll play a half
3
an
to 4
hour.
hours
that-
of Zork is pretty representative of the
Yeah,
entire
it totally
Yeah,
is,
that's kind of. I mean, the speed run on it's like 8 minutes, I think. But yeah, no, I only got about 3 or 4 hours in because I was generally getting stuck quite a lot, and I was dying quite a lot. I was getting killed by the grooves and all this sort of stuff, and I kept on doing
Did you
stupid
turn on the
things.
lantern, dude?
Yeah, no, I got the
Grooves eat you in the
lantern.
dark.
I did all that. I remember getting to like the dam. and
Did
I
you
was
put
like,
the
what
egg in the trophy case?
There was.
Is that what you were meant to do?
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you know what I did with that egg? Okay,
What?
for anyone who hasn't played Zork in our listenership, you go to a tree near the house at the start, there's a glittering egg, and I thought this is going to be important.
you got to climb
No,
the tree.
it was like a jewel encrusted egg,
Yeah.
which is why it's so
Yeah,
weird.
you got to climb the tree.
Jewel encrusted egg in a nest in the tree, right? So I get it down, I try and open it, I'm like, you can't open it. I go to the grate, for some reason I decided it's a good idea to drop it down the grate, which works. It's like the egg is lost forever. That's probably important, but I don't get why the game let me drop it down the grate.
What
Screw you over.
surprised me though a little bit about the game was, so I actually found it quite charming. I found it quite sweet. But what surprised me about the game was the fact that people say it's so, well, from what I heard before about it, it's so engrossing and so like wow, you know, people really got into it. Was actually the lack of kind of story. Like I was almost surprised when I started. It was like you're facing a White House, and I was like, oh, is there not like any build up? Is it not like you are the son of Zork or anything like this? So I was like, oh,
Did you
okay.
not read the letter in the mailbox?
I did, and it was like, welcome to Zork, have a great time. And it was really kind of like strange in that way. So I was like, went in the house, there was a dinner and a thing. And the first thing that kind of creeped me out, and this is weird 'cause it's a text-based video, so I was kind of just walking around going, open up the sack, eat the garlic, and all this sort of stuff. Climbed into the trap door, and it goes, the trap door was closed behind you by someone, you don't know who. And I went, what the hell, there's someone else here? And it's a text-based adventure. But I was surprised by the lack of story, which I guess I'll talk to you later about it, Zan, because it's kind of, I was just like, you say it's a storybook adventure, what's it, choose your own adventure game.
Yeah.
And it was weird, like, there
It's
was a bit-
almost entirely just description.
And then,
Like, there's
like-
no narrative. Really.
And there was points where it was like, I go east. It was
And
like,
the
it doesn't.
description's very, very limited.
Yeah, totally.
I'd go east. It was like, you reached the big cliff, climb down cliff. You reach the bottom of the cliff, go north. You reach the dam. I was like, how long am I travelling for? It just didn't seem very kind of okay. This is what's going on. But what I liked, and I started thinking about this, and I reckon James finds quite interesting, is I really liked the idea of having the narrator. Like, I like the fact that you're talking to someone who had a personality. So if you get something wrong, they might sometimes make a joke about it or quip or say something.
Yeah.
Like, it's a bit like if you go into dungeon, goes, you haven't got a light, there might be a grue down there. You go down there, you get eaten by one. And I quite liked that. I kind of liked the fact that it was almost like you were talking to like a robot, like Hal or something. It had a personality.
I think
And
that... sorry, go on.
So it just got me thinking that I realised from this game, I really like games that have narrators. And the best example I can think of is Bastion,
Yeah.
which has an amazing narrator. And I was thinking, why don't more games have narrators?
Portal and Portal 2, essentially, they kind of have narrators.
They have,
Portal 2
GLaDOS,
more
but
so.
again, I love those games.
Jack,
Yeah.
have you, there's a Half-Life 2 mod called the Stanley Parable. Have you played it?
I have heard of that because he's doing another one.
Yeah,
He's doing a
I think he's doing an
version
HD one
or
for
something.
Steam
I played
Greenlight.
that.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you like narrated stuff, you should play it because it plays with the whole trope of like the narrative
There's
and
a
stuff.
indie game called 30 Flights of Loving as well. And
Oh,
that's
that was brilliant. I loved
It's
it.
not like a narrator, but it's kind of like the story is
It's
kind of
really
it cuts
well
scenes
shot.
and
It's
stuff
very
like that.
stylish.
It's really nice. But
it's confusing as hell. But
and I really like that. I found it quite a challenge, not just to solve the puzzles, but also to be talking to this computer and say, "Come on,"
Yeah.
you know. And I could see why programs would make this, because it's kind of a really fun version of programming. This game.
I think like, sometime in the future, when we have the technology, it would be really cool if someone sort of revisited the concept and had the narrator as like voice dialogue and give you a microphone and you just speak to him, like he's sort of guiding you through this world. That would be awesome. That would be a cool sort of way to experience this. But just the text, it is sometimes quite impersonal, and it is. Yeah. I mean, the narrative is good, but there's very little of it. I think they could have done a lot more.
But yeah, so as much as I found it quite charming and actually could sit down and play it, I guess I have to kind of agree with you guys that technology-wise, we've just moved so far ahead. And yeah, I actually found what was very frustrating was it was actually a very brutal game. You died quite a lot. Yeah. And I mean, basically all you're doing, and it surprised me, for example, so I looked up a forum and there was like a walkthrough I was reading. This was after I'd started playing it, and there was the guy was saying, okay, here comes the really dangerous bit when you meet the troll in the basement and stuff like that. And I was like, well, it's not dangerous. You just have to learn what to type. So you have to just type kill troll with sword 3 times. Do you know what I mean? It was just funny how he was describing it like, this is the most likely bit where you're going to die. But it's like, well, you're basically just learning a flowchart. Is what you're doing. But that's still rewarding. I still liked trying to work out what to do, typing in things, using commands. And it was nice. Like, I noticed a lot when you were travelling back and forth from places you've been to a lot, it wouldn't describe anymore the place. It would just say, you're at the house. Okay, go north. You know where you are now. You're walking around. And there was nice little touches in it that I actually really quite liked.
You can make the argument that you're making about learning a flowchart about a lot of games there.
Yeah, but there was no... What I mean is, by saying the example I gave with the troll is that there's no kind of element of timing or... I mean, it sounds awful, but there's no skill. You're just guessing the words, typing in the reaction.
Yeah.
That's still enjoyable, though. It's still kind of fun to do.
Yeah, but it's very, very logic-based.
Yeah.
Like,
but in some ways it's bizarrely non-logic based as well. You have to sort of use lateral bizarre thinking to do the very specific thing that the game wants of you.
That was another thing that kind of bothered me a little bit. The game was just, like I said about the story, just kind of not really being there. I know the later versions brought in loads of literature surrounding it, but at the time I was just, you could tell they just made this on a whim, or making up as they go along. It was also the fact that there was a lot of times where it just didn't make... There was a bit that really annoyed me, where it was like, there's a path running to the southeast, and I was like, go southeast. I don't know what that means. Like, I've been saying go south for the whole game. And there were times where... There's one bit in particular, which I can't remember where, but fans of the game would know, where if you go north, there's nothing there. But if you go south and then go north again, you come to a completely different place. So I was like, okay, I don't know how that's happened, but I'll just carry on. And there's like a bit in the game, for example, I hated, but you get trapped in a dungeon and it says you better start doing your prayers. So you type pray and it transports you back out to the forest. And that's actually how you progress. And I was a bit like, well... It's a bit of a long shot in the dark.
Yeah.
But no, overall, actually, I thought it quite charming. And considering it was made by these 4 guys for fun, to get away from the MIT programming course they were doing back in the late 70s, I enjoyed it. I can still sit down and enjoy it now. That's the thing, we talk about these games, how they've aged. I'd say this has aged a lot better than, say, some early 3D games and stuff like that.
That's because it hasn't got any graphics weighing it down.
Because it's just text. You could sit in front of a kid and he'd be able to give it a bash for 10 minutes.
I wrote about this. This is my longest point, so buckle up.
Oh. I forgot to make any yet, so enjoy yourself, Anthony.
Well, maybe we should hear what Lisanne thought of the game.
Oh, yeah.
No. Let Anthony have his moment.
It won't actually be that long. I've written it down word for word, basically, so I can just read it out. Other games basically take the visuals out of your hands. So you could see the environment, but it wasn't very spectacular, especially back then. The text adventure, the only limit to how it looks is basically your imagination, because that's what it's requiring you to do is imagine.
It's your imagination and their descriptive ability.
Oh, yeah, sure, but it's the imagination based on their description. Like, if you imagine Far Cry 3 or Skyrim, you're not imagining anything in the environment because it's all being rendered right in front of you.
Ooh. Out of interest, the first thing they tell you is you're standing in front of a White House. I mean, what era did you guys imagine that house was?
Did it say colonial?
It just said a White House.
I imagined like a white cottage in the English countryside.
See, yeah. I imagined a very desolate... The only way I like to explain it is like early Forrest Gump 1950s style house in the middle of a field somewhere. So when it was like there's a forest nearby...
So American.
I was like, oh. Yeah, I naturally just went for an American house for some reason.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then when it was like there's a forest nearby, I was like, oh wait, there's a forest nearby. That doesn't fit in with my imagination of like a flat Utah style landscape.
You failed the game, Jack. You failed the game.
Yeah, sorry, go on, Anthony.
So despite them being so simple, technically they're kind of very engrossing in that sense because your imagination is called on quite heavily. I think that's why text adventures now have persisted, even in their kind of indie status, because they basically rely on your imagination to do things, and that's still just as strong as it was then, now, since while graphics degrade, your imagination doesn't really.
Arguably.
I'm saying that your imagination in the 1970s isn't worse than your imagination in 2013, whereas graphics in the 1970s definitely were worse than in 2013.
Yeah, I get that's a whole different argument. But yeah, I was going to say you could like limitations of hardware. Like, I can't imagine what the next, say, 3 generations of games console is going to look at because I don't yet know the progression of them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, they probably couldn't imagine, back in the day, they wouldn't have imagined Skyrim. Like, it was just too far blown. Be like, what? Like, there'll be inventions in 50 years' time that will be grown like 70-year-olds going, whoa.
Well, you'll find out when you show it to your son.
He won't, he'll be in the dungeon with a blindfold on. Zan, what did you think of the game?
Okay. Right, so
Here we go. I love when Zan talks.
I've been waiting.
Oh, she's gonna love it.
Like we mentioned before about the Choose Your Own Adventure books. Those were my favourite books to get out of the library. They were awesome.
I used to get like a magazine.
I'm talking, Joe.
Sorry, go on.
That was my teacher voice. I used to absolutely love those books. They were brilliant. And I remember one of the best Christmas presents I got, my parents got me the Nightmare Choose Your Own Adventure one, like, as in the TV show Nightmare.
Can you describe Nightmare for people who've probably never seen it?
Oh, it was on ITV when we were children, and basically you had a team of 4. One person put on the Helm of Justice, it was called, and then the other 3 stayed in the studio, and they watched on a TV monitor as the kid with the helmet on was maneuvered around all these different rooms and stuff, but the kid with the helmet on
VR
couldn't
rooms.
couldn't see the environment he was in. Obviously it was a real environment, it was all blue screened, and he had to put the helmet on, otherwise he wouldn't have believed that he was anyway, because he just would have been in a blue room anyway. And so then the team had to control him by saying, step forward, turn, look at the table, pick up an item, there is a monster to your right, run.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this game was for me. I felt like the team and the player in the helmet at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I was controlling the person, but I couldn't see what was going on around me.
Did that make you enjoy it?
More than I thought I would.
It's interesting.
I played it about 4 times longer than I had originally planned to. So that was good.
So 7 minutes then.
20 instead of 5.
No,
So that was quite good. It was all right. I thought I was going to find finding the right words, the right command words. I thought I was going to find that the most difficult. And I was, getting ready before I started playing. I was thinking, should I get a list of all the commands or should I just go for it? And I was like, no, I'll just go for it because, these guys will shout at me. And so I just went for it and quickly discovered that you can't put your penis in anything.
If you've got the word,
Do they ever say it's a man?
I don't think they say it's a man. They say
no,
you.
I just
tried
assumed.
it, did you?
I just assumed because they're always male characters.
Zan, you've not got one. Stop doing that. Good lord.
Someone's sexist. Assuming that only men can be adventurous.
No, I've been conditioned by video games. What can I say? Anyway, it was all right. It was good. I found all the stuff, but I didn't find any of these trapdoors or grates or things that trolls or anything you were talking about. I found the end of the rainbow, and I was like, okay,
oh wow, okay. So you got
interesting.
That was a weird bit, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it's like a pot of gold.
there was no pot of gold.
It's like a low kit. Yeah,
No,
there
you
is.
could-
You
you could walk on the
What
rainbow.
do I have to do?
Oh, I didn't know you could walk on the rainbow.
Well, you had to turn it solid, be able to walk on it.
Yeah, I didn't know any of that. So didn't really do that much in it. Got lost in the forest. That was pretty boring. I'm not good with trial and error.
No, it's an easy
Because I
game to
don't
get
like
lost
being
in.
wrong. And
Yeah.
with the games like this, you're wrong more often than you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I did not enjoy that aspect of it.
Actually, it's just basically trying and error all like to play the game.
Yeah.
Especially in the maze.
Oh,
There's a maze towards the end of the game where it doesn't. They even take away the description. So basically, you're in a maze. It looks the same as the one before. So you've just got to basically do trial and error until you get out. But then I realised
I would never complete a game like that.
I thought that was a bad point. But then I realised that's what the point of mazes is in real life. So you can't really complain about the maze in the game being like that.
That's why I don't go in mazes in real life. Seriously, I'm terrified of being trapped in a maze.
If you keep your
I know
hand-
they have people that will come in and get you, but I'm just really scared.
Yeah,
I don't
all
go in
mazes
there.
are
You can solve it if you just...
Yeah, all mazes are designed so that if you always turn right, I think it is, or left,
I was told if if you're ever in a maze, put your hand on the left wall
and don't let go.
and don't let go and keep following it.
Yeah.
Although that's the longest possible way you can do a maze. Like whenever I play a video game, if I'm like I want to make sure I'm covering the whole area, I'll always just keep going left around the environment and just keep following it around because that'll take me around the whole environment. if you know it's an enclosed thing. It's like if you're in this flat now, you put your left wall, you'll be taken to the front door eventually.
That's true.
You'll get a nice little tour of my bedroom, the kitchen, the bathroom,
Actually,
the downstairs,
Jack,
the front door.
the living room door's closed, so you'll just walk around this room indefinitely.
Oh, that's true. That's the problem in the maze. If you're already in the maze, if you put your hand on a bit that's actually a subsection within inside the maze, that's like a concealed area, then yeah, you're not going to get out.
Or if they have a living room door in the
like
maze,
a
then you...
Or if they have a living room in the middle of the maze, yeah, you're screwed.
That's why I don't go in mazes.
Don't go in mazes, basically.
Don't go in a maze.
I had a question for Jack.
Oh, hello.
Lisanne said, I played it for 4 times longer than I planned to, and Jack must have thought of a number, multiplied it by 4, and then came up with 7, because that's what he said. So, Jack, I wanted to know, what's 7 divided by 4, Jack?
I was going to say 4 minutes, and for some reason it became out of my mouth as 7 minutes.
I can't think of it in my head. I just want to know what 7 divided by 4 is.
It is 1.6.
No, it's not.
That's what I would have gone for.
What is it then, James? You want to tell me?
7 divided by 4?
Yeah.
Isn't that like 1.75?
It's 1.7, right? No, yeah, 1.7. Yeah, 1.75.
Oh, okay, I was close though, you know.
Because 1.5 times 4 is 6.
Is there anything else you'd like to say on the game in terms of your opinion of it?
I was quite proud of myself that I managed to work out that when I wasn't sure if I was in the same area again or not, I could just type look around and it would give me the same narrative. That was good. And yeah, I was quite proud I managed to pick up the sword. And I went in the attic and I didn't get eaten by that grue. I was quite pleased.
I was annoyed when I had to type north to climb through the window. Did anyone else find that?
I just put enter window and I went in it.
That's the thing. I was like, the window's open. No, that didn't mean...
No, you had to do open window.
In window.
Open window.
Or like enter
window. Yeah.
All right. Because I had to end up typing go north and it took me in the house. Like, you're now in the living room. I was like, oh, am I? Okay, fair enough. One thing I want to quickly mention, this was before the show, me and Nancy were talking about this, and you said it earlier, which I thought text-based adventure games were pretty much dead now. I knew there was some people still playing them, but Anthony pointed out, actually, it's still hugely thriving. Did you know
When
that?
you say hugely thriving...
Well, okay.
Well, it's like an indie niche, basically.
So,
but there are still loads of people making text adventure games. Although now they're called interactive fiction.
Or MUDs.
Well, no, MUDs is different.
Multi-user dungeons.
That's like MMOs, but text-based, whereas this is single-player. But the thing about interactive fiction, I think what they've changed about between Zork and now is that now they know that they can't do it just based on gameplay because there's better gameplay out there. Interactive fiction is more like the fiction's the important part. So they try to make it good writing.
I see.
And it's even more like a choose-your-own-adventure book.
That's interesting. That would be good. I mean, Jack, you mentioned one that came out recently.
Yeah, I got it here. Counterfeit Monkey came out. It's a...
For real monkeys?
It's like a word play-based game. So it's kind of like Zork, but you have to kind of remove letters from words to get progress in the game.
Oh, I see. Well, that's kind of a different premise, really.
You take E out of code and you get a cod, and now you've got a cod in your inventory.
That sounds infuriating.
Stuff like that. And Eurogamer, not Eurogamer traders loved it. They gave it a really good review, so did Eurogamer, which... Eurogamer give every indie game a good review.
Game Trailers is a video-based site. Does that mean they did a video review of Counterfeit?
It's incredibly boring.
Game Trailers are usually way off, though.
There's a map. There's a map, but the map is kind of like, I don't know what the word is for it. It's almost like a word cloud, but the locations are written by the words. So like there'd be bridge would be written as a bridge, and then like the it'd be church next to it would be in the shape of a church, but written as church. So it's kind of like it's a map, but it's still a word map. I don't know what that's explained. It looks like a cloud map or something.
It sounds very interesting.
Any other points on the game? I want to talk quickly about story. Because
there wasn't a story.
You're like a drama teacher, and you've talked about story.
I am a drama teacher.
You're like
Jack.
a drama teacher.
I am a drama teacher.
Yeah, drama teachers are like drama teachers.
Was I the only one that was kind of surprised about the story being a bit like... I just didn't like the way you were in a dungeon. Now you're in a dam. Now you're on a rainbow. It's just like, it's a bit weird.
But there's no... Jack, those are locations. There's no story to
I
this.
guess that's...
There's no beginning, there's no middle, there's no end. There's you walking around somewhere, finding stuff and doing stuff.
They're kind of using the imagination both for locations and visuals as well as for the narrative. Like you're imagining what the character's doing and what happens.
You're not given a story.
And again, I'd love to see this tried to develop into the game. I like the fact that it's you. So it's like you are standing in the field. It's like, oh, what, me? What, Jack Marshall? I'm standing right here in the field, am I? I've never played a game since this one where I play me. You always use an avatar. You always use someone else. You always use Gordon Freeman. But I've never played a game where I'm me. That make sense?
Yeah.
You should get a Nintendo Wii. You can make me's.
Yeah, that's true.
And then that can be
is
you.
true. It'd be quite nice. I don't know. It'd be quite nice to somehow. I guess because you can't be like you can't play Skyrim and say you are Jack Marshall, but you're in the 1600s. I'd be like, well, I'm going to run around and tell everyone about the internet and stuff.
You ever play Grid?
Grid, what racing game?
Yeah.
Grid? Yeah.
Because they get your name and they call you by your name every time
That
you're in a race.
freaked me out.
Yeah, mine was
That
calling me
really scared
Anthony. And then I had the American guy as my co-pilot. My
Driver.
But he wasn't in the car, he was like a team member. But he was always like, oh, I'm dead last, bro. And I'm like, okay, stop talking to me. I'm in first. I think that's the benefit of interactive fiction is that you can kind of put yourself in it rather than it being just playing a character.
A lot of games I play, well, not a lot, but sometimes there'll be quite often games, characters in games will be called Jack. I want to say Metal Gear Solid 2, but that's not right.
No, it happened. It happened in Pokemon Red Blue.
Jack, Pokemon Red Blue.
Jack is actually the most common protagonist name in action films and games.
Yeah.
And
it's also the most common name.
And Titanic. Jack.
Did you feel like you were on the Titanic?
I was like, get off the door, woman, let me on it. And what game? Red Dead Redemption, I think his son was called Jack. And I remember that. I remember because I guess you guys don't get to experiences, but when you're walking around in a game and someone, you hear in your headpiece, it goes, Jack, and you'll be like, jeez, what's going on there?
I get that feeling whenever I watch James Bond. It's quite gratifying, really.
True.
See, that's the problem with having...
and all that.
Yeah.
That's the problem with having a unique name like I do. That never happens. I can never get stuff with my name on.
Does Mario never say lasagna or anything like that? You go,
It's not my name.
Your name isn't lasagna,
It's
Jack.
not my name.
You've known her for how long?
No, he's saying
But it's
that...
like, I can't get stuff with my name on. Like, you guys could all go down to the seafront and you can get a sticker rock with your name on like that. Me? No. Never.
Jack was saying
Never.
that-
I never get anything with my
Bort?
name on,
Dog
ever.
life.
I love stuff with my name on because I can't find it normally. People have to get it made for me.
Jack was saying that people saying lasagna in a game is more common than people saying lasagne. So maybe if they say that, you'll hear it and think they're saying lasagne.
No,
That might get-
I'm taken back to the days when I was bullied in primary school and they used to run around after me calling me lasagna.
That's ridiculous.
That's true. That's a true story, actually. That's why I don't like it.
Bloody hell.
I was called Marshmallow. Don't laugh.
Sorry.
My friends call me a different name now, but I can't
I was
say
called
that.
Mr. Anthony Hobday.
We called Hobnob.
Hot knob or hot rod?
Hobnob, like
Hobnob.
the
Oh, I
biscuit.
Did you say hot knob?
I was I was hot rod, and I heard you say hobnob, and I went hot knob.
My friends did call me hot knob, but
Only
it
half of
wasn't a
that's
nickname.
right.
It was a description.
Anyone else got any points about the game let's make?
Yeah, I was going to say something, but now I forgot. Oh, you made a point, and it made me realise. Does the narrator at any point in Zork give you a goal? Because you were saying you just walk
There's
around
no
doing
narrator.
stuff.
Well,
The describer.
the person's about it. Well, they recommend things like when you go into a dungeon, it says there might be a goo down there, guy.
I know, but do they ever tell you like your end?
That's
what
the
your end
thing.
result
There's
is
no
meant to be?
story.
The pamphlet in the box kind of is the only key you've got of
And that doesn't say
to
anything
try and
about-
collect a treasure.
It doesn't say
Oh,
where
yeah.
you are. It doesn't say who you are. It doesn't say what you're trying to achieve. It doesn't say what you've got to do.
But
Nothing.
I know I said
There's
earlier that
no
kind of-
story.
It surprised me, but that didn't ruin the game for me. I was just kind of caught a bit off
yeah.
guard by it. I was a bit like, oh. Like I'm trying to think, I've not played, but does Dear Esther not kind of have that element of you're just on an island, you know what's going on?
It's a bit one track. You can't really go off in the wrong direction.
Exactly. There are a few different pathways, but you're always led the same way.
But I mean, when you start, does it say you are?
No, you
John?
don't know why you're doing the things you're doing.
Yeah.
But there's sort of a sense of goal in that. There's like a large
Okay.
red flashing beacon
But
in the distance.
Maybe that's why I was
Yeah.
saying it's the ultimate in exploratory gameplay, because the game essentially doesn't give you an outright goal to follow, so you're not very restricted in your direction. So you're just basically exploring to find out what you should be doing, which is very like even in Zelda, you've probably got kill Ganondorf as a goal.
Yeah, no, with Zelda, you actually have clear objectives, but I hate open games like this. Like, that's why I didn't like Transport Tycoon. It was the sandbox, wasn't it? That's
But you like
it's-
Theme Hospital?
This is
Well,
basically
yeah, because you've got limitations
Yeah.
and
This
very
is
clear
basically-
goals.
this is basically an adventure sandbox,
Yeah.
which is kind of a weird genre if you think about it, because it doesn't happen very
The
often.
end goal and reward is the exploration that you're doing in
Yeah.
search of end goals and rewards.
Yeah.
I'd say this game
That's very
actually is
meta.
kind of quite limited because you have to have a list of words, you have to have things you can't do. Like I can't say go smash that window, I won't do it. Does that make sense? Like I feel like it's
Yeah.
quite.
Yeah, it doesn't. I
In a
tried.
way, it's kind of limiting. In a way, it's strange.
Break
it's kind
down
Of
door. The door isn't down.
Is the first word you try to do to everything smash? Smash groove.
No.
Smash wall. Smash window.
Smash self.
Smash clove of garlic. smash
Shelf,
bird.
that's so deep.
trivia.
Yeah.
It's not. I've got some stuff. Zork originally was MIT hacker slang for an unfinished program. They called it Zork. It's made into a book series. Loads of sequels. Zork 1, 2, 3, Return to Zork, and all. I don't even
Were they choose your own adventure, or did they? Or
they kind of all
have a story?
developed. Eventually, they had like the music for this show. I had to use from Zork 3, I think, because there's no music unless you just have like "Welcome to Retrograde." Nothing happened.
Just pick a random song.
No,
I was going to have someone
You
tapping.
should have had
and I
text-
realised how
Yeah,
annoying.
do the sound of someone on
That'd be so
keyboard.
annoying going.
No, that would have been good.
Do like 10 times
Alright.
louder than us speaking, the dial-up sound.
Yes.
The electronic
I might
screaming.
actually be. Do you know what? I might do that.
But it's not an online game, so why would you?
Yeah, it's before the internet.
Well, it was briefly named Dungeon, but they had to change it after they got a trademark violation from the publishers of Dungeons and Dragons.
I love that back then you could try to name something Dungeon. Like a simple name, like a name that simple was still in the realm of possibility.
I like that you could trademark the word dungeon.
Well, Dungeons and Dragons, they just didn't want people to mistake.
Well, this was back when they could just
It's like calling a
do
game
what they
Shoot.
want.
Well, they called a game Pong.
I guess they
Yeah.
call the game Doom as well. There's so many
That's
simple
because
games
the
back
noise it
then.
makes goes bong, bong.
It's because it was ping pong.
Yeah, but it also goes bong. Ping pong because it goes ping pong when it hits the
Because it
table.
was invented by Marcus A. Pong.
And Jimmy Ping was always his
Yeah.
big rival.
He got nicknames at school as well. Marcus A. Pong. He didn't like the name Marcus for some reason.
Zork is Zork is playable in Black Ops. When
Oh, yeah, I
you're
heard
tied into the chair and you break out, there's a computer in the corner that you can run over to and start playing Zork on it, which I loved. Because,
I didn't know you could-
you're just broken out of a prison chair and you're like, yeah, I'm going to get out of here, Zork.
I didn't know you could get out of that chair until I read that trivia fact when I was researching this game. I was like, you can get out of that chair? But like, he was asking me for the numbers. I didn't think to get out of the chair.
A bedroom programmer actually ported the game to Game Boy using the basic code of the Sinclair Spectrum version.
How did you type in
and-
commands?
Well, this thing, inputting words involves cycling the cursor through one letter at a time, similar to inputting initials for high scores on a joystick.
I hope someone's completed it on that version.
Someone
Well,
will
the
have.
version on Black Ops, it puts a virtual keyboard in the top corner, and you just have to use the thumbstick to like scroll around the buttons and go dunk, dunk, dunk.
I was thinking of Black Ops on the PC. On the console.
Oh, it probably is on the PC and you can just use a keyboard, but on the consoles, dink,
That's
dink,
horrible.
dink, dink.
Yeah, because the game's so pleasurable.
That's almost as
normally.
cruel as being forced to play Black Ops.
The well-recognised, although I've never heard it before, Infocom phrase "Hello Sailor" got its start here. Type it in, you'll get the response. Nothing happens here. Type it in almost any room in any Infocom game, and you'll get the same response.
Have you never heard of?
No, I've heard of Hello Sailor,
It's
but
just
I
in
don't
this.
think it came from that game. It's like
Oh,
that,
okay.
that fact was like the well-recognised Infocom, which is what the company the guys went on to found in the end. But I was like, never heard of it. There's a pile of leaves in the game covering a grate. When you count the leaves, it will be. You can actually type count leaves, and it'll give
When
you.
you count the leaves, because I searched those leaves, it said nothing unusual here.
You can pick them up, and there's a grate underneath it.
That's where I dropped my
That's where the
egg.
grate. That's where you drop his egg. If you type
But
count,
it said there was nothing unusual there.
Yeah,
A grate in the middle of the woods,
you had
in the
to-
ground, is
You
unusual.
have to move it.
But I said search leaves.
Your guy was looking amongst the leaves, not under the leaves.
your
He would
woman.
have brushed it and seen it.
He's stupid.
You're stupid.
If you type count leaves, it'll tell you there are 69,105, which is a base of 8. I think is a hexadecimal joke, octal joke, or whatever for programmers.
I just want to say,
If there are programmers out there, they are bursting out. laughing.
I just want to say, I'm not stupid. I found the grate. Boom.
The waterfall in the
egg
game. The waterfall in the game is called Aragain Falls. Aragain. Anyone want to guess why that's interesting?
Because it sounds like Aragorn off of Lord of the Rings.
That's what I thought, but no. Aragain. What if I told you that spelt backwards, it spells something else?
Niagara.
Whee!
I thought something else.
Yeah, I thought something. Did we think the same
Yeah,
thing?
we did.
Okay, yeah.
If you type in XYZZY or PLUGH, P-L-U-G-H, which are words from other earlier text and edge games like Colossal Cave Hunt or whatever it's called, you'll hear a voice. Oh, well, not a voice, but it will say a voice says a hollow voice says "fool," as if to say stop using code from other games. Number of rooms in the game. How many do you reckon?
39,000.
69. No. I think there is 23.
I thought Andy leaned forward to be serious to go. Go on, Andy. What is it?
23. I say 23.
110.
110 is correct.
What? That was a guess.
Did you not already read this earlier?
No.
Oh, it is 110.
Yes, you did.
I didn't. That was a guess.
You
Let's see,
did.
let's see if you're on a roll.
If that
You're
was
a
in my,
liar,
that might be
Hobday.
in my subconscious, but I did not.
Number
know
of different
that.
ways to die.
No, I don't know that. 600.
Come on, 600.
What?
And
It's a-
3. 603.
110 rooms. There are 600
6
ways
to die per room.
So in every room, run into cupboard, you died.
They're dangerous rooms. It's a heavy cupboard. Stop making fun of me.
28. But you were closer with this one. Number of words in vocabulary.
600.
And...
2. 3.
Oh, 698. And the number of takeable items is 59. Quite interesting. I found this was quite... I dug this
Why
one out.
didn't they do round numbers? Why wasn't there 100 runes? Why was there 60
They weren't
items?
counting them when they were making it. They counted them afterwards.
Well, they should have.
The
they shouldn't.
first
There's no need to.
product tester on the game for Infocom was called Mike Dornbrook. He was their first product tester. He was hired to debug Zork and stuff like that.
End of fact.
That's a good
He
bit of
went
trivia.
on to found Harmonix.
Oh, really?
So that's quite interesting, yeah. He was running it at the moment in the basement of two of the guys... In one of the guys' parents' basement, he was running this sort of user group for a while where they were doing like bumper stickers and t-shirts and stuff like that. And he went on. He was out in 1983. He went on to found Harmonix.
That explains why Zork has pretty good rhythm game sections.
Yeah, I was impressed by that.
And just some other bits of computer gaming world, some rewards, because no one reviewed this game back in the day because they didn't exist. But
Magazines existed.
People
Reviews didn't exist.
Game reviews didn't exist.
Really?
Like, no one was reviewing Pong.
Well, I actually found
Oh damn!
at one point I found a review. No, not Pong, but I found a review for the original Frogger.
Was it
really?
a contemporary review?
No, it was reviewed back then, and it was talking about how great the graphics were and
That
stuff.
means
So that was
contemporary
Well-
means it was.
Well,
Oh, I
okay,
thought you
same
meant
day
more
as contemporary for us.
computer
Contemporary
gaming.
for
I
them.
misunderstood.
No, sorry, okay, I meant contemporary for
This
the
will-
Yeah,
game.
it was.
This will shock you, actually. Get ready for this. Computer Gaming World magazine, which is a big magazine, in March 2001, in their 200th anniversary edition, this game, as voted for by readers, put it as the 9th best game of all time.
Well,
I guess they were voting
What did
based
they
on.
put as number 1?
I don't have that on the list.
Half-Life.
probably Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, it always is. Game Informer in August 2001 put it as number 17 in their top 100 games of all times, and in October 2004 they put it in their top 25 most influential games of all time.
Based on influence, is probably
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
high.
I can accept influence, but not greatness.
And that's all of my trivia. So we go over to the Retrograde part of the show, which is James. What are we going to review it as?
Okay, we're gonna
Do
today.
weapons, James.
We're gonna axe. We're gonna review this game in terms of novels that are not choose your own adventure novels.
Oh!
It has to be a real novel that does not involve interactive stuff. I'm gonna go first because I'm the big man in charge here.
No
I'm
idea
talking,
what I'm going to say.
and I'm gonna rate this War and Peace out of 10 because it's boring, old, and I just don't want to interact with it.
I'm going to go with Moby Dick because I know it's classic. I know it's really influential, and when I started reading it, I enjoyed it. Oh,
Well, novels are books, really.
Sorry, Jack.
But
And
not
when I
all
was-
books and novels.
when I was reading
It
it,
could be a cookery book if you want.
I enjoyed it, and I thought it was good. But I did find it very confusing and actually very long and a bit dull.
Did
at
you
times.
enjoy Moby Dick?
I was enjoying it, and then it started going on a bit. To be
Yeah, it'll
honest.
do
What was the
that.
name of the captain? And the Indian in it? Oh, I don't remember. The whale was called Moby Dick.
Oh,
Ishmael?
I can't remember.
Ishmael, yeah, I was going to say
Ishmael,
Hamish.
isn't it?
but
Call
that's not-
me Ishmael, or however he
Oh.
talks, I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to give it Moby Dick out of 10.
James just said
Classic.
you could use a cookery book if you want, so I'm going to rate it cookery book out of 10. Because you go in with good intentions and you think you know what you're doing, then it comes down to basically trial and error.
Wait, what? That doesn't make any... What, a cooking book comes down to trial and error. If it does, it's a very bad cooking book.
Who reads cookery books?
One ingredient is revealed per try.
No, I'm saying the act of cooking basically comes down to trial and error because you get it wrong all the time.
Unless you do it right first time.
Yeah, well,
Who does that?
that's a terrible analogy.
Okay, fine, but
Oh, get ready for a better one.
Yeah.
No, I haven't got it.
that's why I went with cookery
All I
book.
can think is.
Which is your least favourite Harry Potter book?
Well, no, all I can think is the dictionary.
That's actually quite a good one.
Because, you know,
there's
there's
a lot of words
there's
in
lots
it.
of stuff in it.
Loads of
You
words.
just,
If you
you
like-
just got to have the patience to get through it, really.
If you like words, you'll love this game.
Exactly.
Is that the zebra did it?
Yay! It's a zebra. We're not American.
Zebra.
The Aardvark started it.
So that averages out as a, I don't know, Chamber of Secrets, something like that.
So always Harry Potter was
It's the only books you can read.
Twilight.
Yeah, it's like a Twilight. God, if there's fans as well listening going, they're compared to Twilight.
Yeah, listen, we're reviewing this from a contemporary standpoint, like modern.
Well, this is
we're
the thing
not.
I was worried about doing Zork, is because it does have a very obsessive cult following. I know there's been people going, they didn't even talk about the sequels. Or
If you're
anything like
if
that.
you're
And it's
listening
like,
to this and you want to kill us, just bear in mind that we appreciate everything you did. We just didn't enjoy it.
If you're listening to this and you want to kill us, you sword on us.
you sword on
In an iTunes review.
I'm hoping,
Tweet us on
Denise.
Twitface.
I'm hoping for an iTunes review that just says, kill... No, that actually sounds horrible. Just kill
Don't
Retrograde
threaten to kill
team.
us, please.
No, that'd be awful. 5 stars.
Speaking of iTunes,
Huh?
Speaking of iTunes, do we have an iTunes account where people can go and
let's
rate
say
us?
They can. If you enjoyed this show, you can go onto iTunes and write us down a 5-star review. You can write us down a review, I mean.
You can only review us 5 stars.
You can use any number of stars.
We got some
guys.
5-star reviews from a guy called Dirk Dick Dougler. It's so hard to say that. And Benny D63. So if you guys are listening, drop us a PM on Twitter, which is at Retrograde Show, where you can also follow us. But drop us a PM, we'll send you a free badge, just like every iTunes reviewer gets from us. Whoop whoop. Indeed. And just like I said, you can follow us on Retrograde at Retrograde Show, where we tweet out stuff about the show, what's going on.
At Retrograde Show.
At Retrograde Show, one word. You can also follow and like us on Facebook to search Retrograde. Yeah, we're back in 2 weeks with
Your game.
I know, I was trying to think who actually picked it. World of Illusion.
Oh man,
Mickey Mouse's World of Illusion on the Mega Drive and Genesis.
is that the one with the apples and stuff? And you like collect
So
apples.
there's Castle of Illusion, there's World of Illusion, which I never had a Mega Drive or Genesis growing up, so the whole Illusion saga is something that I've not actually embraced yet.
I've never played any of
I wasn't
either,
aware there
obviously.
was an Illusion saga, to be honest.
There's
No, they're pretty well
4
received,
of them.
I
They've
think.
just done a new one, I believe, on the
Power of Two, whatever it's called.
3DS. The 3DS version is called something like Return to Illusion or something like that. But I'll research all that for the show, don't worry. But the reason I want to play it is because when I had a SNES growing up and people, I was like, yeah, whatever, I got Super Mario World, they'd always turn around and go, yeah, we got a World of Illusion. And I'd be like, damn you. Because it's co-op with Mickey and Donald.
Yeah, it is pretty well received.
Oh
It's
yeah, I did play that one.
Very
Yeah.
well loved, apparently. So I'm looking forward to it. You should really love it, Azan, as well. It would be
Cool.
right. It would be right up your street. It's meant to be
Jinx.
one of the top sort of
Jinx.
top 20 platformers of all time. I'd
Awesome.
say. So, so make sure you play that for next week's show. And that's goodbye from me, Jack Marshall. Goodbye from Anthony Hobday.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from Zan Fisher.
Bye.
Goodbye from Jason McFadden.
Give us a 5-star review, please.